I am Marwan Cameron, and this is the Conduit. All right, y'all. I am back again. It is 2 p.m. in Kitsap County, 49 degrees. It's a chilly one, but it's dry, so we'll take it. Well, as you know, we got a busy slate today. We had the Kitsap Regional Library on. At 4 p.m., we have Dr. Yah from the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center. And at 5 p.m., we have Deborah's Corner. But right now, what we have is a young Black veteran entrepreneur who's getting ready to open up a business right here in Bremerton. Super excited to talk to him. So I'm not even going to keep y'all waiting. Let's go ahead and bring him on. How you doing today, sir?
What's going on, Marwan?
Oh, man, you know, I am blessed and highly favored, so I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm good. You know, just hanging in there.
Yeah? So I know you got a lot going on. You're trying to open up a business. You're in college. I mean, you're doing the most right now.
Yeah, I got a full plate.
Well, let's start off at the beginning because, you know, everyone doesn't know you. You've actually been on this podcast once before, but let everyone know who is Brenden Davis.
See, 10-year Navy vet. About to open my own business, Tones Fitness, right in the heart of downtown Bremerton. It's gonna be a gym. That's gonna have spin classes, gonna have yoga, juice bar, kettlebell classes. And I'm a full-time college student. Going for my master's right now, and next year going to law school.
Man, that is a lot, you know. Thank you for your service for sure. Go ahead and give you a shout out for that. We actually did our first appreciation and award show for African American veterans on Thursday, and that thing was powerful, man. There were some older vets that we recognized, and you know they were talking about their experience in Vietnam and coming back, and man, I wasn't ready for that. You know, I just thought it was, you know, hear some stories and just kind of acknowledge and celebrate, but it got real deep. So I was honored to be a part of that, you know, for sure. 10 years in, huh? That's a long time.
Yeah. Actually, I got out on Veterans Day.
Did you really? Wow. So you've been out for a year and you're already getting ready to open a business.
Yeah. Social media has this misconception that opening a business is easy. And I can assure you it is not. It's far from it. It's a lot of dedication, a lot of hours, a lot of time consuming events that happen. It's a lot of work. And the one thing you got to have is patience because losing your cool in certain situations, then it can sit there and cost you everything. So patience, understanding, and dedication. You know, and as long as you have that vision and you be golden. At least for a little bit.
So it sounds like you're getting a crash course in wisdom pretty quick here, you know.
I feel like I hit the brick wall pretty hard.
Yeah.
I hit the brick wall pretty hard. It was more it was more like, this is gonna be easy, this is nothing, This is gonna be done in about, 2 weeks. I'm gonna be on vacation somewhere. And 2 weeks, it's like, starting getting gray hairs.
You know, it's something, you know, Brenden, because it really is the show me state. You know, some things, you know, I tell folks, you know, if you listen to others, then you learn from their mistakes, so you don't have to make them, right? They've gone through it, so you don't have to jump in that pothole. But there are some things in life that you just got to experience to know it, you know. And teaching business at the college, you know, I had so many students come in, And again, at the junior level, right? A non-traditional community college, people are varied in age, right? So we're talking about teenagers to 50, 60 years old. And folks that have that entrepreneurial spirit are just like, oh, I could do this, I could sell, I could do, and once they jump into it, it's like, oh man, this isn't even half of what I thought it was going to be. Which is one of the reasons why businesses, so many fail within their first year or so.
Yeah, you gotta think about everything that can go wrong, and it's like it's it's so much information that you don't know, and by not knowing it, is leaves you vulnerable for everything. You got to worry about, if whatever business you have a brick and mortar or online, can you get the products? What happens if you're doing an online business and the shipment doesn't come in, like what's going on right now with the whole shipping shortage. We got the cargo ships in the middle of the ocean. Imagine if you had a shipment to come in for some employees. Now your the employees or people that you're trying to get everything over to. So it's just a lot of variables, a lot of roll the punches. I learned that really quickly, and whew, um, a lot of rolling, a lot
So
of rolling.
I definitely want you to unroll your whole concept of what it is and all that good stuff. But before we get into that, let people know, because I mean this is what's on your heart, right? So you're talking about overcoming. You even talked about anger. So what did you? How did you keep persevering? It sounded like there was a time when you wanted to throw out the towel, or throw in the towel. But so what made you push through that and get to the other side?
Um, Man, almost every day I went throwing the towel. Almost every single day I went throwing the towel. Like once you sit there and start seeing like how how much responsibility opening a business is, or just being an entrepreneur in general, you know, um, punching the clock 9 to 5, you already have the direction. You have that set schedule. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna go. Let's say you work in the office. I'm come in. I got some emails to check. Within 2 hours, I'm going to lunch. Hour lunch. Now I'm come back. I'm gonna relax. Like it's a whole different mindset because when when I first started, to open the gym, my intentions weren't for me. My main goal was to go to law school, and like that was like I was like head driven. I'm gonna go to law school, and this year, and when everything's just kind of like unfolded, I was opening up the gym for unselfish reasons, and you know, not not everybody's ready to sit there and take that leap that you want to take, and when I figured that out, like I want to take this leap, and it's gonna be this leap is gonna sit there and gonna put you in a better position, or family or anything. It's all about who's ready, you know. And I I took that leap, you know, and wanted everyone to take that leap with me, not knowing that they weren't ready. So it was a big learning curve with that. And not knowing that, it made me realize that this is going to be a lot harder than what I thought it was.
Mhm.
You know, because like I said, a lot of late nights. By myself. You know, like drafting papers, a lot of Zoom calls with with companies or agencies I had no idea even existed. And just a lot of processing paperwork. So I was lucky to have certain people in my corner that were there to like help me out. But every day I wanted to quit. Every day.
So did you find the process to be a little lonely? From my experience, you can have folks that kind of see the vision, you tell them the idea, and they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds good. We're all with it. And then once it gets in and everyone sees what there is to do, right? If you stop, everything stops. So you've got to
Yeah.
continue to go, right? It all hinges on you. So they might think it's a great idea, but it's still only to a certain point. You got to keep pulling that thing. So does it feel like it's kind of isolating and lonely? You're saying you feel like you want to quit every day. What are the things that keep you going that next day?
I think lonely is an understatement. Um, and I was talking to one of my friends about this today. There are certain events that will happen in your life, in anyone's life, that you will know who has your back and who doesn't. Um, One of them is, being incarcerated. The other one is opening up a business. And with those two events, you'll sit there and know who really has your back or who's going to sit there going to show up there for you. And and a lot of times we're lonely. I'm not. A lot of things, you just start thinking like, like, oh, this person really said this. Like, yo, that's inconsiderate. A lot of negative talk. I had people who from back home, from New York or wherever, would tell me, "Why are you doing this for?" Or they'd be like, "Why don't you quit?" Or they say, "I can't wait to see you fail."
Wow,
And
they say
it's
they
like,
can't wait to see you fail?
yeah, and
Wow.
like all that negative talk that's just resonates inside your mind, because these are people that know for years, or that you admired at one point, or you looked up to, or you had conversations with, and that you're doing something out of the norm that they're used to. And you say, well, do you continue being friends with this person or have them in your life, or you sit there and you leave them by the wayside and you sit there and keep pushing? So it was a lot of conversations where I had with myself, a lot of conversations I had with God, and it was a lot of lonely times, a lot, And the one thing I can say is that don't go to negative outlets.
Mm.
Like, you know, more focus on things that's gonna say they're gonna bring, a clear mind, like eating healthy, working out, going for walks, writing, do things that's gonna excuse me, do things that's gonna keep your mind stimulated, because you know if you sit there and go to negative outlets, then you're gonna sit there and stay in that hole. So if you go out and someone says something like that and you feel depressed or upset, you go out drinking, it's gonna sit there and gonna lower you down every single time. And it's a it's lonely. So it's a lot of pushing through, a lot of perseverance. I remember being at the gym 2, 3 o'clock in the morning by myself, just doing work. And then getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning the next day, headed right back down there and trying to get stuff done. And there was no clock for me to punch in at work. It was just sheer will, body hurting and all. So it's
Well, you
lonely
said
at the
it
time.
right. I mean, Brandon, a lot of folks are like, I need to own my own business. I need to be my own boss. I don't want to work for no one, and so they think it's going to be easier, but it's actually harder, right? And now everyone becomes your customer. So you got your clients that you're going to bring into the gym. You have your vendors that that you're dependent on. You've got all these relationships that you have to cultivate now. So you got a whole bunch of bosses right now that you've got to figure out how to navigate and work with. And again, that's on you. And so, a lot of folks that come to me and say, hey, I want to start a business, and they kind of have this, it's just this easy thing to do it. They may be, making a value judgment on the person they see who's running the business, and like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. Anyone can do it. And they don't know all of you know, the details that put those people into that position to be where they're at, and some people just fail up. I mean, that's the truth too. So it is tremendously difficult. I'm glad you're here telling this story, because first off, there's so many different reasons, but one of the main ones is I think about COVID. I think about the jobs going overseas, technology that is, replacing jobs. I mean, you got robots now in McDonald's, in fast food restaurants, and that's not a career, but all these jobs are going away. And even more so, college is not being attended by a lot of males right now. It's like 60-40. And so what are the options? How are people going to survive? And so that entrepreneurial spirit and being successful in it is very difficult. How do you parts, right? You're saying you need to be around positive people, but as you're going through, right, you had your own idea of what you thought this was going to be. So if people were telling you something that wasn't so much trying to wait for your demise or your destruction, but they were being critical on some of the things that they saw. How do you kind of parse that out between those that are naysayers and damaging to your goal to someone who's trying to give you sound advice that might be counter to what you want to hear, but what you need to hear?
So I'm from Brooklyn, and where we're from, we typically are really blunt. So if someone's being vague with what they're saying, let's say for instance, like, oh, you're doing this wrong. Well, how about you come out, you tell me how to do it? How about you show me the way?
Mhm.
Give me a different outlook, because you know if we had two sets of eyes on the same problem, we could sit there and figure it out, you know, effectively, or we could figure it out in a whole different manner. So when people were saying, "Well, you're gonna fail," and I'm like, "Well, why did you say that for? What's your reason behind it?" And if their reasoning was like, "Oh, because you didn't do this right, that right," so I'm like, "Well, how would you do it?" Constructive criticism is completely different from people praying for your downfall. Constructive criticism is to sit there and point it out, but no one will lead. If anyone want to see you succeed, they're not going to lead a conversation with that. They're not going to lead a conversation that, like, I can't wait to see you fail, or I can't wait to see this doesn't take off, or they wouldn't hinder your success. What they would do is they would say, this is how I would do it. This is why I would do it. And these are steps that, other typical businesses follow, you know. I said, this is, and that's just an explanation. And then just going through everything instead of, you know, well, you're just going to fail. And, the one of the worst things, in the world that says that there's so much information in the world and I don't know everything, and like neither do you. So it might be something that I know where I could teach you, and myself, that you could teach me. And with that, we have an opportunity to sit there and know a lot more information. So one of the things that I heard, many years ago, is that one of the worst crimes is, withholding knowledge.
Mm.
Um, so what that means to me is that, if you had the knowledge to sit there and help someone else out, why wouldn't you help them? Because spreading information is free, you know.
Let,
So that I mean, that's my outlook.
so let me ask you. So you talked about there were some people that were literally saying to your face, "I can't wait for this to fail," and you said, "Well, I had to question, like, what bucket do I put them in? Do they remain friends, or do they turn into acquaintances, or do I just cut them off 100%?" So what did you decide to do with those folks?
I mean,
And they might be family members, right?
excuse my language, but fuck them.
Okay.
You know, not everybody needs to be on my team. And the people that said that, those specific words, fuck them. You know, they weren't meant to be at my table, and you know, God is showing me people true colors. Because if when I'm was going through things that when I'm going through things personally, or if I want to go out and go party or drink, or when I'm down, you want to be there for me when I'm doing something successful. You don't want to. What type of situation is this? Like, we're supposed to be for each other regardless.
Mhm.
If I'm down in the trenches, or if I'm on top of the mountain, you know, there ain't no I in team. So if you're not sitting at my table eating, then why you here?
What you're saying there is really powerful, and I think it's very difficult for a few folks to accept, right? I think one, it can be difficult for young people to accept that, right? To cut someone off. And then two, as you said, it's a very lonely experience trying to make this thing happen. And so you're already isolated, alone, full of anxiety. You already have your own self-doubt, as things aren't working out and you're trying to press forward. And then you have folks that are naysayers and being negative in their spirit and not critical, and it's like, well, if I cut this person off, I'm just going to be even more alone. So that is a huge um that's a huge action to take in one's life, to say, you know what, I'm going to cut them off. I might feel even more alone, but this is what I have to do. This is the best path forward for me to be successful and watch my dream flourish. And ultimately, right, it's I tell folks all the time, I don't lose, I learn. Either I win or I learn. My L is going to be a learn. It's never going to be a loss because I'm always learning. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I agree with that. And that's like one of the hardest things to go through. Like when you have a team and you think like people on your team, and then you have to sit there and got to take a step back to get yourself together. You're comfortable around these people. You've been hanging out with them. You've been doing things with them. You know, they know your deepest, darkest secrets. They know your life. And taking that step back, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And I had a conversation with someone that's like, well, at least you know them. Like you know them and you know what they're gonna bring to the table. And I was like, and my rebuttal was, let's excuse my language, fuck them and fuck that table. You know? That's not a table that I want to sit at. If you can't sit there and be with me by my side when I'm down, then you don't need to be by my side while I'm winning. You know, and I think one of the biggest things for me was, registering for school. I'm like, school, it's gonna be easy, and but the work, starting a business on one hand, and then on the other hand, going to school full time for your masters, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, so it's like you look for support in the people that surround you, even the whole, understanding mentally of it. Like you have to focus on, issues going on with your business that could potentially take off, and you got to focus on I got a 15-page paper to write,
Mhm.
and it's due in 3 days. So it's you don't need to be at a table sitting there with people that are sitting there trying to sit there and break the legs while you sitting down in the chair. So
Brandon, if more people figure that out faster in their personal lives and whatever that they endeavor to do, the better off they will be. It sounds like once you made that decision, did things seem to I won't necessarily say get easier, but kind of clear out, the garbage that's in your mind, to help you to focus more on your studies and getting the solving the issues of trying to start a business.
and no, it's like I said, not everybody's ready to take that leap. You know, don't like the people who said like I can't wait to see fail. Yeah, fuck them. Like y'all ain't never come back around me. But the individuals who I spoke with, like I got some good friends back home, and like like oh I can't believe you're actually doing this and everything. I'm like yo, whenever you're ready, I'm here, and all the mistakes that I made, I'll make sure you don't make them. Or let's do this together. Let's be great together. And that's the mentality that that majority of people lack because the mentality that we have is selfish,
Mhm.
you know, and being selfish is not gonna help out anybody, at least in our community. We need to sit there and start, open our eyes and sit there teach other people like, I believe in, trades, I believe in education and I believe that everyone should start their own business. At least get that experience, and we need to do better for each other.
Well, that's a whole other conversation to unpack. Why we
Yeah.
don't support each other in our business. Why we want a discount or we want something free, right? But then we go to other businesses and we wouldn't even think to ask for a discount or ask for something free. You know what I'm saying? And we'll accept mediocrity in service. So that's a whole nother podcast, brother. We could go in on that for a couple months to try to solve that issue. But it starts with a few people to start modeling that. I think that's the important thing. Like we can discuss it and talk about it because we need to do that. We got to identify what the issue is, but then it just takes a few people to start modeling the behavior that we want to see and then holding others accountable for that. I think that's where the change is going to come. And what's interesting as I watch you progress, right? I've had a couple companies and the situation is the same. You have some folks that are going to ride with you, right? And then you're going to have some folks that are like, why are you doing this? This is stupid. You should be doing this, that, and the other. And they weren't as blunt as you were. But it was just, for me, I'm helping people that I don't know. I'm helping people that don't like me. I'm helping people that don't want help, right? It's like, why are you throwing good money after bad, endeavors, in their mindset? So that's their way of telling me, um, but when you are convicted by something, it's like, I'm gonna go ahead and do this thing, and it doesn't matter what you say about it, right? I may fail, you know? It's like when
Yeah.
G2 open, it could be closed in a year, right? You know the percentages, the rate
Yeah.
of this failure, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this anyway, right? And I'm just gonna continue to plug in and work hard. And while you're seeing folks, they will pull you away from your mission also, right? Hey, there's a party over here. Let's go and do that. Seems like all of a sudden, everyone's trying to turn up and there's all these events going on, and you're having to make a decision and say no because you have to set your priority, right? It's like, come on, you need to take a break from that, right?
Hmm.
So speak to that. We're close to talking about your organization and what it is here, but you were going to open earlier, right? And so you're not open yet. You're getting there. So talk about that process a little bit, because I think that's important too.
That was so.
I'm not trying to trigger you.
No. You set these timelines and in your head, this is what you're envisioning that how things are gonna play out, and when you open your business, it's gonna be trial and error for some things, and man, but even with deadlines being set, you always gotta have a buffer. Always have a buffer for the unexpected. And in my head was I thought everything was gonna go flawlessly. It's gonna be you know beautiful. Trump is playing and everything like it's gonna be beautiful, and it wasn't that. You know, and you know it gave me a real taste of reality to take a step back and realize that I need to sit there and pump my brakes. I'm moving too fast, and by moving too fast, I am expecting things to go a certain way, and then when they don't, I'm getting upset. So it was a humbling experience to sit there, like the first time we tried to open, it was like, okay, we can't open, we got to push things back, revisit situations, we got to change this around. So it's a lot of moving parts, when it comes down to starting a business and opening a business and getting it off the ground, because we spent, when you spend so much time, on one aspect, in my situation was, the renovations. As other areas are lacking, still got marketing. You still got to get equipment. You still get employees. You have to make sure that your business plans in order, your policies, your procedures, your payrolls in order. You got to make sure that that you have separate accounts for L and I. You got to make sure that everything is correct. Cross your T's and dot your I's. And I think that I spent so much time in one area where all those other things were lacking. So even if it was a situation where we were on time, it would have been really difficult to try to balance the things that need to go on. And I probably wouldn't have been going to school right now. I'd have put it off for probably another 2 semesters or something like that, just to get back on track. You know, so the unexpected happened. You roll with it. We didn't open on time. It's okay because we always have time.
So what was the catalyst for that? What allowed you to go? Because we had conversations, right? And you
Yeah,
were rigid. It was like, hey, this is what it's going to be. So what was that catalyst that allowed you to say, all right, like you said, we're moving too fast. Got to slow down. It's still going to open, but I need to measure twice and cut once. What was
man.
that?
There was there was my mentors. Definitely stepped in and had the conversation with me, and it was like, hey, slow the fuck down. And I was like, I'm like, yeah, maybe. And it was like, hey, slow the fuck down. you know, and I was like, oh, maybe. I kept blowing it off, and it was like, then I was like, oh shit, I gotta slow down. you know, the time frame in which I wanted things done, it was um at that moment in time when I thought it was unrealistic. But I can say this much, man. God's just been sending blessings my way through this whole entire ordeal. And I cannot discount that at all. Like blessings were coming like left and right, up and down. Like I was like, oh my God. And I just had to sit there and keep saying like, this has to be right. I have to be doing this right. Let me take a step back. Let me listen. Let me you know understand that this is what that they went through. And they're older than me. They have these life lessons. Let me take a step back and let me sit there and just you know relax. So me personally, I said, you know what? I took 5 days off, um, where I just kind of just lounged around and just started, not really focused on anything involving business or anything involving business, just my personal life. And and then came back and I was like, I feel refreshed. So that's what I've been doing, taking mental breaks when things aren't going the right way. I'll take a mental break, and then I'll sit down and then focus on my personal life. Then I'll come back to it when I'm ready. Um, and that's been helping.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal, right? And that's hard to do when it's all on you and you're working 16, 20 hours a day. And it's like, I can't stop. I got to go. I'm falling behind. This deadline's failing. And you're like, oh, it's counterintuitive. I actually need to take a step back so that I can actually continue to move forward. So I think that's a big deal. There's one other thing that I want to say, but I'm hoping that you will feel that if your, past self were to watch this and say, you know what? I can hear it, and I will be cognizant of that as I go through my experience. Because I think what often happens is there's so many of us as entrepreneurs that start along that journey. Like you said, you have different expectations in your head. We're very gun ho because the entrepreneur spirit has to be gun ho. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in the product or the service, and to hell with whatever anyone else thinks. But at the same time, you talked about that mentorship, right? Where they're saying, hey, you got to slow down. You can't do it this way or whatever. And for a while, you're like, no, 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 I got this. I got this, hold my beer. And then at some point you say, okay, you know what? They are right. So one is finding people that you can trust, right? That are going
That's a
to
big. That's a big word.
tell
Big word.
that you can trust that's going to tell you what you need to hear, and no matter how hard it is for you to hear it, but tell you in the spirit of love, right? Understanding what it is that you want to do, not telling you to just stop and this is going to fail and this is stupid, but hey brother, this right here isn't going to work. You can't do this way. You need to consider that. As an advisor, we say, I advise, you decide. Ultimately it's your decision. Here's the advice. You take it and do with it what you will. And that can be hard too, right? Because people have it in their mind. But what would you add to this conversation, um, for your previous self if you were to watch this video when you were getting ready to embark on this, that would be tangible for that version of you to say, okay, I'll watch out for that.
um, there are some particular things I would do. Do my research. Um, see exactly what's needed because there's a lot of things that I did not know about. I thought it was gonna be easy, quick, no, be good. And I lacked knowledge in certain areas. And usually, for myself, I do the research, and I trusted, others to sit there and do the research for me. I was being lazy, and so my past self, what I was telling my past self, no, what she said, that don't be lazy. You know, trust, and this is what I learned in the military: trust but verify. You know, and make sure that um, you operate on a certain frequency you're supposed to operate on. You know, by lowering yourself to any other frequencies, it can, you know, be catastrophic to what you're doing. You know, not everybody, you know, not everybody wants to see you win. You know, and by understanding that, you know, and that's what my issue was, that, you know, like even friends back home or just in general, I thought that, you know, everyone wanted to see, you know, you cross that finish line. Not everybody, not everybody wants to see that, you know, and that was a realization for me, you know, where now, like the person I am now, from all experience I gained from this ordeal, I would tell my past self, you know, be more enclosed, you know, that's the best thing. Like, you know, trust but verify, don't be lazy, and be more enclosed.
Gotcha. And you said do your research also.
Do your research.
All right,
Definitely do your research. Definitely do your research.
those are some big ones. Well, we got some folks in the chat, so shout out to Dania. People will point out the problems without offering solutions. And brother Sal says, just sold my gym of 10 years. Happy to help where I can, if I can. So brother Sal has had several companies successfully. Real smart brother. So yeah, he's definitely one I would suggest having a conversation with.
I'll reach out.
Yeah, if it's okay, Sal, I'll give him your information. So Sal and I are gonna do some stuff together with podcasts. He's got his own podcast in Bainbridge Island. So, you know, shout out to Sal. But yeah, good brother for sure. So let's hard stop. I'm gonna go ahead and just get the horn because I do want to chop this thing up. You know, let's talk about your business. Hard stop. What is
Okay.
Tone Fitness? Let's get into it.
Okay.
Turn up, Brandon.
Tone Fitness, man, is it's gonna be a gym in Bremerton, where individuals could come. It's gonna be the first gym that has spin classes. It's gonna be the only gym in Bremerton that has a juice and smoothie bar. We have a yoga room that we built from scratch, and we're gonna have a workout area. The gym is gonna be geared towards, you know, people um, that want to change their lifestyle. You know, the juice and smoothie bar is going to be the catalyst for, you know, opening people to new type of things. You know, because not everyone knows about juicing or, you know, or smoothies. You know, people just go grab them. So we want to get some informative information on that. You know, have the customers actually, or our members, you know, come in and make their own smoothies. So it's a lot of thought has been put into this, you know, uh to be more health conscious, you know, because, you know, back in the day, at least 2000, no one was caring about that. No one's caring about, you know, being health conscious or anything, you know. And then now when you look at it, you see people want to sit there and eat healthier, you know. People want to sit there and want to have healthy lives. They don't want to be stuck on, you know, either being obese or having a health problem. So the
That's
gym,
COVID, right?
yes, especially with COVID.
That's almost a death sentence.
Yeah, so it's like once we open, you know, I want it to be, you know, the gym is just be the foundation for what I'm really trying to create.
Right?
And I'm not gonna go into details about that, but the gym is just a foundation for the other plans I have for Bremerton. You know, I've been all around the world, you know, and I have been to, like I said, I've been all around the world, especially throughout the states in the U.S. And in Bremerton, it's a rare opportunity where you see that you can, you know, really just flourish out here. There's a lot of opportunity out here, and a lot of people aren't taking it. You know, and with that opportunity, you know, you can sit there and change and shape this whole entire community. You know, and you know, I've been out here 2 years, and I recognized it when I first came here. You know, just by walking around and seeing the potential. And then now it's like, you know, you're 30 minutes from the fast ferry on Seattle. The only thing I like about Seattle is that the ferries don't run at night. It's the only thing I don't like. But um, you're 30 minutes from Seattle with the fast ferry. An hour to take your car. You have Bainbridge Island 45 minutes because of ferry to Seattle. Where there's a major city. Bremerton is an area that can really flourish with the right type of entrepreneur mindset and the right type of people to sit there and turn it there. And I believe that that time frame is coming.
I love it. So you're gonna have a juice bar, you got cycling, you got yoga. And now I got a chance to walk into the gym. What was that? Maybe 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
2 weeks
got a
ago.
really nice ambiance in there. Definitely coming along really good. I look forward to trying those smoothies out. So when is the gym gonna open?
So right now we're waiting for word from the city. Um, right now the expected date we're pushing is gonna be January 1st.
Oh, nice. New Year's
Yeah,
resolution. All
New
right.
Year's resolution. And probably maybe if we get the documentation prior to that, then we'll have a soft opening. But it's gonna be the main open is gonna be January 1st. So that's what I'm pushing for. Oh, and we're also gonna have like boot camp classes. And I'm also trying to incorporate, maybe something the lines of like dance classes. So like one of my friends was telling me I need to incorporate like I guess like dancing with heels or something like that. Like I gotta look into that because
That's the heels.
yeah, it was like something vague, and I was like, I don't know anything about that yet, but I'll I'll look it up, but I haven't had the time to. So um, I'm always open to ideas. Um, Another thing is what I'm planning on doing. I got to get the approval for it. Is that I want to have a fresh garden,
Mm.
so where my members can come and they can pick their own fruits and vegetables for the juice bar.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it's a lot of moving parts that I'm trying to get together, but um, doing it alone, it's a lot of work, and but it's rewarding because once we're open, we're open.
You're open. So have you set price points for membership yet? And what does that look like? Can you give us a little preview of what you're thinking? Have you worked that out yet?
Yes, so we're gonna have three-tier memberships. The three-tier memberships gonna have different they'll have different incentives to it. So it'd be like 60, 75, $95. What I'm also planning on doing for the gym is, we're gonna be open 6 days a week. Monday through Saturday. On Sundays, we're going to be hosting events.
Okay.
So the event's going to be like a paint and sip event, spoken word, open mic. We're going to have events that's going to cater to the community and actually bring everyone together. So the gym aspect of it is going to be completely different from the event aspect. So let's say come in and on Sundays and do the paint and sip, then they can sit there and come. We'll have I'm working out with an event planner, which I got to get on here shortly about how we're gonna set it up by doing things like bottomless mimosas for a certain amount of hours or things of that nature, or the paint packages, paint by numbers, and trying to get local artists there where they can sit there and bring everyone together.
Oh,
So
nice.
the gym aspect is gonna be off the chain because people could come and work out, and then on Sundays they could come in, they can sit there just to have fun.
So now your three different price points. Is that for you get to cycle and yoga and use the juice bar, or is that for one thing? Can you kind of a la carte it and get what you want?
So the different tiers gonna have the classes for the gym.
Okay.
So once I start hiring everyone and getting the personal trainers on board, then the personal trainers can actually have their own packages where they can sit the workout. But the different tiers are gonna be like an example. You'll have 4 classes a month. You get to choose between yoga, spin, or a kettlebell class. Just an example, or Zumba, and you get to have those 4 for that month, and that's it. If you want to do additional, then you'll have to go with the instructor, and then they have their own pricing for that. But you'll have a basic plan for the basic for whatever membership. So basic, intermediate, and so on and so on.
Nice, nice. All right, that sounds exciting. So, whenever you have materials that you want to, push out to the public, let me know. And whether you have time to come out or not, I'll just talk about it on the show and share that out. I think that's really important for everybody, but especially for our community to be healthy, right? Both physically and what you put in your body is really important. We also need to support each other in our business, and so that is a way that I can do that, because marketing, like you said, is expensive, right? So I can talk about it. That's not hard to do. That's a pleasure. So I'm
Living is expensive right now.
say again.
The living is expensive right now.
Living is
Yeah,
expensive.
it is. It's. I've been looking at posts even when I fill my tank up. It's like everything's too expensive right now. It's like like
Oh, we're dealing with inflation, and like you said, you were talking about the supply chain, and there's issues. If you've been watching what's happening in China, not only have they been having rolling brownouts, but they've hit like some kind of crazy snow event out there. So we're so dependent on them. It's causing some serious issues. Matter of fact, I ordered a purple suit off of Amazon, because me and my purple. I ordered
yeah.
that suit like 2.5 months ago. Amazon came yesterday. I'm like, I haven't ordered anything from Amazon in a while. Like, it was this purple suit. It's like, wow, okay. So I mean, it is seriously backed up for some things, and everything is a lot more expensive. You want to tell people where the gym is located?
Oh, 900 Pacific Avenue, Suite 130. It's a really big space. So y'all come check it out. Um, Come get a smoothie, or just come work out. It's gonna be it's gonna be amazing.
900 Pacific Avenue. That's right outside of downtown, right in
Right
Bremerton,
across the street from the
from the YWCA, right?
WCA.
Yeah, and the zip code is probably 98337. I'm just typing all that in the chat there. Uh, Definitely, obviously you can come in, and even if you're not using the gym, you can come get one of those healthy smoothies. I take it.
Yeah. So let's say the juice and smoothie bar. You can come anytime you want, walk in and grab a juice or smoothie, and that's open to everyone within the hour. So the juice bar is open. So it's not going to be just specific to the members.
So, I got to ask you one big question. This isn't Brandon's gym. This isn't, something else. This is Tone's Fitness. So, how did you come up with that name?
So I started the gym because my mentor. Um, when I first got out of the military, what people don't understand is about the type of mentally what you go through. When you get out, and I did 10 years, so it was every day. Like my clothes were picked out for me. What I had to do was picked out for me. It just was a whole different mindset. Just from getting out the military until now, and and my mentor helped me. So we boxed together. We ate together. It was fellowship and talking about a lot of God and about feelings. And in return, I was like, let me do something for you. So the me opening this gym wasn't for me. It was to sit there and pay homage to someone who helped me when I was slipping,
Mm,
and paying that homage, to say like, I got your back like how you got mine.
mm, man, that's a powerful story.
Yeah.
That's a powerful story. Woo, man. Well, I happen to know who your mentor is, so I won't mention him if you don't want to mention him. But yeah, he.
Named after the gym.
Well, we'll say that you have seen this person around, if you've been paying attention, for sure. So that's an awesome story. Is there anything else you want to talk about with Tones Fitness?
Just can't wait to open. I have some big plans, some really, really big plans. And with these big plans, man, it's gonna come a lot of gray hairs. I know that for sure. But the gym is only just the beginning. I will briefly touch on one thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to open up a hookah lounge.
Okay.
So and that's going to be the next few months where it's going to be like in the downtown area. Um, so if we're able to get that going, then we're going to be good to go. So really just sitting there trying to like I'm 31 years old, you know, and being from New York, that was a thing. Hookah was a thing, and in the Kitsap area in Bremerton, there's no hookah lounges. There isn't one anywhere around here. The nearest one's in Tacoma. So not only do anyone here who wants to have fun or just kind of hang out and lounge, they have to travel, 45 minutes an hour to go do that.
Wow.
And then they're gonna be subjected to, you know, driving late or it's always raining out here. It's just dark. Driving late in the rain, being tired, subjected to, getting into accidents, or maybe they don't even feel like going that far. They want to do something locally. I just want to bring that. I want to bring that option to the area.
Well, that's business, right? Filling a need, filling a void, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. Any other words of wisdom that you want to leave folks with?
Um, if you're gonna start a business, what I say is do your research. Don't just sit and look at a post say start a business and all that because it's a lot of work that gets involved in that. Not only a lot of work, it's a lot of time, energy, and effort. And we will quickly know who's on your side or not. And those might not be you know you don't want to might see those results. Let's say for instance, you have a best friend, and once you start doing this, it could quickly show how they're in your corner or not. You might not want to sit there and know those answers, you know. Um, so tread lightly, but I encourage everyone to start their own business and try to bring everybody with them. But just be prepared for the outcome. That's whatever can happen.
I like it. I like it. So, is there a way for people to inquire? Do you have a phone number? Do you have an email yet?
Yeah. So my email is tonesfitness900 at gmail.com.
All right. And so, if anyone has any questions that they want to ask and get more information, that is Tones Fitness, TONES Fitness 900 at gmail.com. This is Brenden Davis, who is opening up Tones Fitness. The launch will be January 1. It's at 900 Pacific Avenue, juice bar, yoga, spin classes, uh, doing stuff that isn't available currently, doing it with flair and style and with the spirit of getting healthy. You heard a powerful story as to how this gym has been named. So we definitely wish you all the success. Look to having you back as it gets closer. Definitely
Yeah.
making inside of the gym. I think that would be awesome. So folks can see what they're in for a treat for that. And just appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for inviting me, Marwan.
Absolutely. Well, I'll see you again at 4 o'clock when Dr. Yao comes on from the Fred Hutchin Cancer Center. So that is at 4 p.m. And then at 5 p.m. we have Deborah's Corner. Like I said, it's a busy day today. We just keep on rolling. We keep on pushing. So Brenden, I will see you back here in about an hour. Everyone else, I will see you back here in an hour. For Brenden and Tones Fitness, I am R1 Cameron. This is the Conduit. See you in a minute.